Hi, I'm Leo, and in this video we'll be going over logical operators in C programming. So basically we use logical operators to combine conditions. So whenever you have two or more conditions, you use logical operators to combine them. Now we have three logical operators, and they are and, or, and not. Now, if you're familiar with logical reasoning, and, or, and not is still the same rule, just different symbols. So here we use double ampersands to represent and. We use these two straight lines called pipes to represent or, and the exclamation mark to represent not. So each of them, they have their rule. Now for and, both conditions must be true for the result to be true, and for or, at least one of the conditions must be true for your result to be true. Now the not is more or less a negation, so the opposite must be true for the result to be true. Alright, we'll head over to code. Alright, we have two variables here, so let's go ahead and create different conditions and then try out the logical operators. So I'll be using the if-else statement. So if x is greater than 0, if x is greater than 0, which is true, let's try and y is less than 20, which is also true. We want this to print we want it to print the result is true. The result is true, and we go ahead and close. Else, else we wanted to say the result is false. The result is false. And then we'll close our line. So let's build and run. You can see that both conditions, they are true. So now it's saying it says the result is true because both conditions are true, and that's how the AND gate works. Now if I go ahead and make one false by changing this to 10, y is actually greater than 10, but this condition says it's less. So when I build and run, you'll see it says the result is false. Okay, let's try out or. So or says at least one of the conditions must be true, and from this statement, x is actually greater than 0, though y is not less than 10. So one of them is true. The output is going to be true because one of the statements is true. So you can see it says the result is true. Now when I go back and make this other one to be true also, meaning that both of them, they are now true, the result is still going to be true because the condition says that at least just if you can get one of the conditions to be true, then the result will be true. You can see it says the result is true. Now let's try out now when both conditions, they are false, the result is going to be false. Let's say y is less than 0 and x is greater than 20. X is not greater than 20 and y is actually greater than 0. So both conditions, they are false. Now when I build and run, it's going to give false because you need one of the conditions to be true for the result to be true. Okay, so that's that for and or. Let's try out the not. So let's so x is not 20. So we already declared that x is 10. So we're saying if x is not 0, which is true because x is 10, then the condition will be true. So you can see it is it says the result is true. But when I come here and change x to 0 and x is 0, here we have x is not 0. So when I run this code, it's going to be false because actually x is 0, but the condition is saying x is not 0. So let me build and run. So you can see the result is false. Alright, so you can play around with these logical operators, and I'll see you in my next video where I'll take a task and we'll go over the task.